Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Ash.
And this is F1 Fanatics. So guys, we are back for another predicted lineup for 2020.
Yeah.
Obviously in the part 1 we covered Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari, so if you guys haven't watched that, check that out on the channel. And today's one we are going to be looking at McLaren, who are currently best of the rest, Toro Rosso and Renault.
Yeah. So, where to start other than best of the rest? So, McLaren, we're going to do this very similar to...
I think we should say, obviously last video we had a lot of similarities in our picks. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen with McLaren, do you, Ash?
I'm not sure. This one, I'll be honest, I'm pretty certain that my prediction is going to be correct for McLaren.
I am too.
Well, so, current driver lineup is Carlos Sainz Jr., definitely the best performing driver outside of the top 3 teams, and Lando Norris having a fantastic rookie season. So, let's see how you've predicted. And your prediction is?
I mean guys, it's confirmed already, and I did obviously mention that Red Bull might try and buy out, but the realistic option is Lando's had a fantastic rookie season, Carlos Sainz is an absolute superb driver, they like working together, everything at McLaren is working team harmony.
Should I jump in there like you do with your... Like you do? Guess what? Mine's the same. It's confirmed. I'm 100% certain I've got a prediction right. It might be the only one.
It's easy, Ash, isn't it?
Yeah, anyone can predict the future.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, as I say, it might be the only one that either of us manages to get right out of these predictions.
No, surely not.
You never know. A couple of curveballs might come in there.
Oh, we can keep a tally at this when they get confirmed.
Yeah.
We see how many we got
Well,
right.
we might as well do a video that's going through saying, yes, 1 point for each driver. Who got the most?
What a superb video idea that is.
But
anyway, McLaren, easy.
Yeah, nice and simple. Both performing well. Already confirmed that that's the driver lineup that they're wanting for next season. So predictions complete, basically. Toro Rosso.
So guys, again, just like on our Tuesday release when we were talking about Red Bull, obviously that shock news that Gasly was dropped for Albon may be the right decision. Obviously has affected these predictions a little bit, but obviously like we said before, 2020 predictions aren't set in stone because it is just really a 6-month trial on Alexander Albon. So keep watching. But obviously we recorded our driver predictions in a block last Saturday before the news came out.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine ours are going to differ here, Ash,
because
we have a different one of those two
in Red Bull.
In the Red Bull.
So yes, so as we've been doing, current driver lineup, Daniel Kvyat and Alexander Albon, both having very good seasons within the team. So starting off with Mike.
So I believe Alex Albon is going to stay there and get another year's experience underneath his belt. I think he's having a very good rookie season to date. I've been impressed with how he's come into the sport, but like I mentioned in the Red Bull video, I did not think that he was ready to make up the step up in 2020 just yet. Okay. His partner, Pierre Gasly. Now I don't think Red Bull are going to cut all ties. They are ruthless with their drivers, but I feel like they will also blame themselves a little bit because I don't think they necessarily felt that Pierre Gasly was ready for that. Like I said, Danny Rick kept them off guard. They didn't go for the Carlos Sainz option because they promote from within. Pierre Gasly was the natural choice. So I don't think they'll be harsh and absolutely wipe him out of the team.
No. Okay, and then on to my predictions. And Daniel Kvyat. He's going to keep his seat in Formula 1. That's a definite. I just think Toro Rosso at this moment in time is the right step for him. Staying there and just building up that confidence of being back in the environment. it would have been incredibly disheartening to have been dropped from the Red Bull drivers program completely. So as I say, just working your way back up to that confidence level. And that's by no means saying that I don't think he's had a good season. He has, he's done very well. I just don't think the step up to Red Bull is the right one for him just yet. And I'm the same. Gasly's going to take the step back down into Toro Rosso. Last season for him was fantastic. He showed his pace in the Toro Rosso. The cars are two different animals, and it was the right car for him last season. He was able to show off his true pace, and I think the pressure of being at a top team has just been too much for him, and it was a move that was just too early for him. So building up confidence again, because that's what he needs. It's a confident sport. Without it, performances aren't going to come. Going back to a level where the pressure on him isn't as high will be the best step.
Yeah, I think just the only thing, whatever driver it is between Danny Kvyat or Alex Albon, because we feel Pierre Gasly will be that man, it will be good for Red Bull to see a direct comparison between there in terms of almost battling again for the future seat and another shot at Red Bull. Although whatever, I mean, if I'm right and Alex Albon stays, he has the advantage over Gasly that he hasn't had a chance in Red Bull, so they don't know what it'll be, and they know what Gasly is. But Kvyat and Gasly would be exactly the same, both two who have failed, but and that could potentially grow into a very good driver.
One of the main reasons why I think Albon will be getting that step up. He hasn't had that seat at Red Bull yet, whereas
the other two,
both of these guys have, and it hasn't worked out. So
no.
But it's the reason why you have B teams, isn't it? You have the sister team
exactly
to give you that support
and
give them that opportunity. So it'll be good to see both of these guys still in Formula One, because I don't think we're ready for Gasly to be dropping out completely.
I don't
think
he's
got that ability.
He's a quick driver, and he's always been a quick driver.
And compared to some of the drivers on the grid and included in these predictions, he's at a different level. He is that step up. So he definitely deserves his seat in Formula One. It's too early for him to leave. I just think Red Bull is a step too far at this moment in time. Moving on. Renault. So, current driver lineup of Danny Rick and Nico Hulkenburg. Now, mixture of a season, really. So this one,
the car hasn't been great, has it? The reliability is what we've come to expect and spoken about in videos. Is Renault has been appalling, which has negatively affected both, I think, these drivers' demeanour, because if you have a car that you're not confident in and you don't feel is going to get you around the race, then you're going to feel a bit down. And I think both of those two have felt a little bit.
So, based on that, predictions for next season from you?
Well, I think Danny Rick's going to stick it out. I think it is pretty certain that this contract is solid to at least 2021. So it will be then whether he decides whether he is investing in the project at Renault, or whether he decides to try and get his agent on getting him a big driver seat again when those new rule changes come in. Not his ideal first season so far. Be interesting to see how the second half of the season goes, but I think he's going to be there next year.
Okay, and with him at Renault, you're predicting?
Romain Grosjean. So I'm predicting this guy to leave Haas, but something about me that likes Grosjean. So although he's 32 and it makes sense with young drivers coming through, that he would, if they got rid of Nico Hulkenberg, I'd say on Nico, we don't feel like he will be dropped from the sport. We feel if he goes, that it's his choice. If he stays, I feel he might go to Haas and he definitely won't be in that Renault seat. But Romain Grosjean, he's French, at Renault, a French team, he needs a change of scenery at Haas. He's not happy there. It could be his last chance to really excel as a driver.
Okay, and then for my predictions, I've gone with Danny Ricciardo. This move was his Hamilton to Mercedes move. He was getting in there early for the prospect of the 2021 rule change, and I don't see him going. I know that this isn't going to have been what he expected from the move to Renault, but as I say, it was one where it was a move for the future as well. I don't think he was going to Renault expecting to be challenging for the top end of the lineup, the results week in, week out this season.
Might have expected a little bit better though.
Yes, he definitely would have expected better, but as I say, it was a prospect for 2021 regs. So I think he's going to be staying at Renault and he will be keeping his seat. With him at Renault though, I think it's going to be Valtteri Bottas. I think Hulkenburg's going to take a step away from F1 at the moment. He doesn't seem to be himself at the races. We're quite used to Hulkenberg being like the cheery chappy.
Hey, he's quite flamboyant, happy guys.
And recently, mainly down to Renault, I must add, that hasn't been the case. He's been quite dejected. So I think he is going to take a step away from Formula One, and that will be his decision. I'm thinking that he will end up going to either DTM and going to German touring cars, or World Endurance Championships, so going over to WEC. Can't see him coming away from a racing career yet, but
he'll definitely be racing. It's just where.
What classification of racing it will be.
He might just need a break from F1 because again, that Hockenheim being so in a position to get that first podium and not.
Exactly.
That digs away at it, doesn't it?
And as for Valtteri Bottas, well, with Renault, we know that there's been that link with Mercedes in the past. So, for those that don't know, Esteban Ocon was originally going to have a seat at Renault this season, but they managed to get Ricciardo, so gave him the elbow. They didn't want him when you've got Danny Ric coming on board. So there is that link between the two teams. And with Valtteri Bottas, he's already come out and said that if he doesn't have the Mercedes seat, he's got plan B, plan C all lined up. And Toto Wolff has come out and said that if they do go with Ocon over Bottas, then Bottas will have a soft landing in Formula One. So for me, Bottas isn't going to be at Mercedes next season, and Mercedes as a team are going to have done something to find him a drive. I think it's going to be the Renault car that he is driving next season.
Wow.
So, guys,
we'll only see, will we?
We won't see until 2020. Well, we'll find out before then.
I imagine probably a lot of them will be decided probably by the end of October.
I'm expecting quite a few of them to be announced by Spa. There's not too many big changes.
Yeah, I think the main thing we're probably taking from our predictions so far, guys, is that there's going to be changes. There's going to be changes next year. Well, yeah, one, they're exactly that predictions, but we don't expect the current grid lineup to be stay there. I think there's a lot of teams who aren't happy with where they currently are.
Yeah, and I think it's in terms of car performance as well. So I think there's quite a few teams that are going to be looking for a driver from that level up who's got the experience of helping develop a car. So with Renault, Ricciardo and Bottas, both of them been at top level teams, know how a car is to be developed, so they're able to give that support. And I think that's where a lot of the lower end of the grid are going to be looking in terms of their driver lineups. So, guys, that's been this video.
That's part 2 done. Guys, don't forget, if you like what we do on this channel, give us a thumbs up on the video. Let us know.
Make sure you are subscribing and pressing the bell. You want those notifications. You've seen part 1 and 2. You're going to want to see part 3. You want to see the rest of the grid for next season.
Just complete your set. I mean, it'd be wrong to kind of leave the job half done, wouldn't you? Or 2/3 done.
Yeah, we've done almost, what have we done? 6 teams. So,
yeah,
you know,
only 4 to go. Might as well stick with it.
Exactly.
Guys, comment below. Do you agree with our predictions from Renault, Toro Rosso and McLaren? I mean, McLaren, I
is
imagine
the
everyone
prediction.
will.
But
But yeah, let us know if you disagree, if you still want to comment on maybe who your favourite driver is, if you think Nico Hulkenburg is going to be around, and if he is, does he stay at that Renault seat or is he moving somewhere else? Guys, let us know your thoughts below. We'll get engaged with you guys. So I guess the only thing that leaves us for Ash is our usual sign up, which is F1 fans, remember, keep racing.